Chinese car manufacturers, as well as the EV market leader, which is Tesla. Well, let's speak now to David Bailey. He's a professor of business economics at the Birmingham Business School and an expert on the car industry. Thanks very much for joining us today, David. How big a deal is this, or would this be? Because they haven't quite signed on the dotted line yet, have they?
I think it is quite a big deal. I mean, I think on one level, it really shows the massive challenge that China is bringing to the global auto industry. China has been making electric vehicles for 25 years. They've really got costs down, and they can make cars 25 to 30% cheaper than European or Japanese firms. So Japanese firms like Nissan are thinking, oh, we really need to do something. Nissan had an early advantage with the Nissan Leaf, but it's really started to lag behind, as has Honda. So they need to really speed things up. So I think it shows the scale of the challenge that car companies outside China really now face.
Do you think we could begin to see more of this consolidation among the big legacy names in car making? I mean, recently we've seen the creation of that new giant Stellantis with a merger across the Atlantic. Renault is already in partnership with Nissan. Now Nissan's finding another partner. What do you make of that?
I think that's absolutely right. We're going to see these kind of maps of the alliances between firms drawn and redrawn, bigger groups coming together. I mean, what Nissan and Honda, I think, are really looking to do here are things like developing new cars together to share costs, to procure, to buy components more cheaply through bulk buying, but also to develop joint platforms so that you can make essentially different brands and models off the same underlying technology. So I think we're going to see much more of that. That's going to be quite interesting, both in terms of the Nissan-Renault alliance, but where does this leave Renault, which is looking to partner more with Geely, but also for car plants like at Nissan at Sunderland. Is there a possibility that in the future you could see not only Nissans, but maybe Hondas made that?
I wonder, does it say anything in particular about Japan? Once a hotbed of innovation, particularly for the car industry, certainly doesn't feel that way anymore, does it?
No, it doesn't. I mean, that's, I think, the big thing. I mean, it's interesting that different Japanese firms are going in different directions. So Toyota is very much doubling down on hybrids. It sees a long transition towards electrification. So it thinks short term, it's going to be hybrid. Nissan is thinking electrification is coming more quickly and they're lagging behind. But they were world leaders. They're now being really beaten by Chinese players, not only Tesla making in China, but also BYD. And if you think about some other industries, think about color TVs. Japan was a leader, but it was too slow to embrace the new technologies that came, and that's largely been wiped out. So there is, I think, an existential threat to the Japanese industry from the Chinese players that are coming.
Okay, David Bailey at the University of Birmingham, thank you very much for that.